Trump had a disastrous press conference just an hour ago, and I want to talk about that. He says he doesn't know E. Jean Carroll.
A woman I have never met. I don't know. I have no idea who she is.
And then minutes later, he says he knows her. He says again, he basically defames E. Jean Carroll again. And he brings up another accusation of sexual misconduct out of nowhere. I'm going to show you all that. First, I want to talk about Donald Trump's sentencing being delayed because I don't know, maybe I'm kind of seeing conflicting thoughts on the internet about this. And I just think it's a disgrace. I think it's a disgrace. Our justice system should not pay attention to what's happening in our politics. If Donald Trump were running for Congress, if he were running for the Senate, if it were anyone else running for governor, do you think the sentencing would have been delayed? No, of course not. Why is the presidency any different? It's just another office. Yes, it is more powerful. It is more esteemed. But that should be reasons why voters should have the full story about who Donald Trump is. And the judge says he doesn't want to do this because of he doesn't want to interfere with the election. He doesn't want to influence the election. Well, I've got news for him. It is election interference to not give the American people the full story of this trial. If he's going to jail, if he's not, voters should know if they're voting for someone who might have to serve jail time. It's the same thing with the January 6th trial and everything the Supreme Court did to delay that. They are interfering with the election. The evidence against him will not reach the voters, and voters are going to be voting on someone not getting the full story, and it's a disgrace. All right, let's go to the main story here. Let's just lighten the mood and watch Donald Trump implicate himself in these clips. If you're liking this video, please like the video, and if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. Thanks so much. All right, here is Donald Trump saying he never met E. Jean Carroll, even though they are photographed together.
Of a ridiculous verdict of a woman I have never met. I don't know. I have no idea who she is. She wrote a book and she made a ridiculous story up. She put it in her book, and we're now appealing the decision. We had an extremely hostile judge appointed by Clinton, very good friends of Clinton. I guess he presided over the marriage ceremony of one of the lawyers on the case against us.
So obviously he does know her. There's pictures of them together. It's easily provable. Here he is defaming her yet again.
Because it was a setup, a rigged deal. They had two witnesses. And before I start, I have no idea who this woman is. They have a picture from, they say, about 40 years ago, a picture. And the picture depicts her and her husband on a celebrity line where I was the celebrity. I was been a celebrity for a long time. And they were shaking my hands along with hundreds of other people. Nobody even knows where it is. The problem is she doesn't know the date of this incident. She doesn't know when. She doesn't know, was it in the 90s? Could it have been further than that? She has no idea when. And people do that because you don't want to give a specific date, and then you find out that Trump or whoever it was in Europe. So they tend to do that. They take long periods so that this way, hopefully he was in New York at that time. But this is a disgraceful case, and disgraceful in particular because it's about a former president of the United States who is now leading in the polls to be the president again.
Well, there's a bunch of lies there. One, he's not leading in the polls. He is neck and neck in the swing states, and no one believes that he is going to get the popular vote. The only reason why he would win is because of the Electoral College. He is not leading in a national poll at all. And I want to just say something about what Trump is doing here. Because Stephanie Grissom, his former White House communications director, mentioned this at the DNC. Let's watch that because it really does speak to his entire messaging strategy. As soon as you hear this, you can't unhear it.
He used to tell me, it doesn't matter what you say, Stephanie. Say it enough and people will believe you.
So I 100% believe her. I know I 100% believe that's what he said to her. And I think that's what he believes, that none of it matters. As long as you lie enough, eventually the lie becomes bigger than the truth. And by and large, it has worked for him. I see why he does it, because he lies about the witch hunt, these criminal case witch hunts, lying about E.G. Carroll, saying he never met her before, and even like easily disprovable lies, like saying Kamala Harris had notes at the CNN interview.
She kept looking down, up. Nobody wants to cover it. I know all about notes. I mean, you know, it's all right if people know that, but she wasn't supposed to have notes. So she's asked a question. She looks down. She keeps. She had notes. That means she knew that she knew what was happening.
When there's a photo that shows there were no notes on Kamala Harris's side. So this is just a method he deploys. And for whatever reason, I don't know, because they're tired or lazy or both, the mainstream media is completely incapable of fact-checking his insane lies. For this last clip, here is Donald Trump bringing up randomly another case where he had been accused of sexual misconduct. I just want you to pay attention to the way his lawyers look at him when he starts bringing this up. It's actually pretty classic.
Now, there were two witnesses. One is a woman who's followed me for years. She said in 1979, I was in an airplane with her, commercial flight, and we became very intimate. I just sat down. I think I had the book, The Art of the Deal. I was famous then, too. I've been famous for a long time. And we're sitting in first class, according to her. Never happened, by the way. Totally made up story. She's a Clinton person, too, by the way, big Clinton person. She made up the story. And so many years ago, and I think it would be 1979, one of my many people behind me could correct it, but I think she said 1979, it's a long time ago. And I sat down. I believe I had some pretty big success then, and
I mean, are you looking at them? They look like prisoners. They look like, what the hell is he doing?
Being talked about a lot. Maybe The Art of the Deal was out, you know, sometime after that. I'm not sure. But I was well known. And passengers are coming into the plane. And she said I was making out with her. And then, after 15 minutes, and then she changed her story a couple of times. Maybe it was quicker.
This is not a man operating at full capacity, and we have to defeat him in November. We have to. We just have to. I want this to be done. I want to move on with our country, and I want Donald Trump to be a memory of the past. Please.
I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?